Okay, so now I told you what these symbols meant, the double way, and this exercise will justify both the notation and the terminology. And it reads A if and only if B, and that statement is the same as saying A implies B and B implies A. But another way of saying B implies A is, you know, A if B. Like A is true if B is true. So, A if B, A if and only if B. So, A only if B actually corresponds to A implies B. A only if B. Um, so it must be true that B is true if A is true. And A if B is saying that A is true if B is true. So this is really breaking up A if and only if B, okay, it's the same as saying A only if B and A if B, okay. And see, notice the terminology is it's a double. It's like two arrows, A to B and B to A, and that's exactly what this is. It's the arrow from A to B, and this is the arrow from B to A. Yeah, but explaining the terminology and the notation does not prove the statements are true. It just motivates it. So please think about this for yourself. Pause it before you see this, and well, how do we show this is true? So let's look at some situations where the left-hand side is true. Okay, so the left-hand side is true basically whenever is A and the B are the same. So A is true, B is true, or A is false, and B is false. Okay. But true implies true is a true statement, and false implies false is a true statement. So, so any combination of those with the and will also give you a true statement. So, but so the right hand side is also true. Okay, and what about when it's false? Well, the left hand side is false when A is false, B is true, or A is true and B is false. And these are all the possible combinations of A and B truth values, by the way. So we've exhausted all the combinations. And if this is the case, then, well, so we definitely have, like if you remember the situation where we have a counterexample to when A implies B is true, but B implies A is false. This is certainly exactly the answer to that other question. So in both cases, A implies B, but not B implies A. Sorry, in the first case, A implies B because false implies anything is true, but true implies false is not true. And in the second case, B implies A is true, but not A implies B. And see, we needed both of them to be true for the AND statement to be true. So, and so therefore in both cases, the right hand side will be false. Okay, so I'll leave it there. We'll come back and we'll discuss some more interesting problems.